We ain't baby all close.
Nah, you stupid.
But yo, look, Puff is
Nah. You working with
I've known
Pac?
Puff for 30 years.
You saw Big before he passed?
Yeah.
Bro, so you're close. And Jack, what were you saying?
In the documentary, there was insinuations of, that Diddy possibly had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie. And,
Who's telling the story, right? You can skew
People very close to the situation.
but you can create any narrative.
I look at the computer say, Floyd said, T.I. Nelly fuck 50. I'm like, what did he say 50 for? Nelly fucked your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance. Say fuck that.
People would think it would be unethical, especially if you've been accused of such things, to be the person blowing the whistle on other people being accused of such things. 50 don't give up. Okay? He don't give up. He posted the Netflix thing. He said number 1 in 36 countries and 11 others still going up. Okay? Now, here it is. 50 is now posted a picture, and an edited picture of that. A picture that someone drew of Jay-Z.
Not only did 50 Cent's Diddy Dories create headlines, but it also sent shockwaves through the streaming industry. It unexpectedly shot up the ranks from the moment it debuted, even surpassing well-known titans like Stranger Things. The message was immediately apparent, regardless of whether viewers clicked out of curiosity, nostalgia, or pure fascination. 50 Cent wasn't there to be cautious. He developed a keen sense of control and focus when challenging narratives. Fresh online chatter rekindled the conversation, just as viewers thought it was fading. The rumored scope of a second season is even more ambitious, and the talk about it is getting louder every day. According to industry rumors, the upcoming part may examine what fans have already called the Jay-Z files. If true, this would be one of the most talked about events in contemporary hip-hop documentary culture. Furthermore, Jay-Z might not be the only significant person in the picture. 7 well-known figures who are connected by impact, history, unanswered questions, or enduring industry storylines that have never completely faded are the subject of ongoing discussion as potential focal areas for the upcoming season.
I think, and just to kind of like roll off of what 50 was saying, I did not believe that I did not believe that it was going to be this crazy, but he's been the biggest champion of it. And so I think the goal was, the original conversation that 50 and I had in sitting down and talking about it, in the wake of Cassie filing her lawsuit, which is when we kind of had our first conversation, right then, was understanding that there were a lot of rumors in the industry. There was a lot of talk about, some of this bad behavior. I think Cassie's lawsuit, the level of detail that, getting underneath the hood and seeing the level of detail that she brought forward was really a lot to digest. And I think that both 50 and I were really interested in the nuances of tackling a story like this, like kind of understanding, where does the role of victim, begin and end versus like being a perpetrator, and kind of understanding cycles of violence and these kind of reoccurring patterns, and just seeing how complex the story was, and that no one was really treating it like that. Everyone was just very focused on salacious headlines and like with no context, and so I think for us, we wanted to put that care into the story.
But they did characterize it as a hit piece in the very beginning, is because they didn't get a chance to watch it, when they were saying that. And then after they see it, you see everyone's changed their mind, and it becomes the number one dog.
But also someone calling it a hit piece was a statement from Diddy's team. So, I mean, what's your response to Diddy's team? Of course, they're going to probably have an opinion. And then what's your opinion on people that just say that you're petty? Are you petty?
I accept that. I'll take that. I'll wear that. I'm fine. I have antics that I've become comfortable with on social media because of the usage of social media. That's just that. You know what I mean? But when they look at, they'll say, me deciding to go on ABC is petty. The morning show is the biggest show. These people, they came from, it's a great opportunity to be on that actual platform, but they looked at it further and said it's airing in prison, so this would be why I would like to do that. and it didn't come across as a reason not to. Of course, I was aware that it would be airing.
And for both of you, one of the other questions fans are asking is, there are a lot of great and powerful interviews in this, but where are A-list celebrities? Where are people in his orbit that remain silent? Like, they've never really even spoken out against the allegations or anything that's going on. Are people just concerned about their careers? Are they afraid to speak out? Because I remember Harvey Weinstein, right away everyone was like piling on and talking. Yeah. Why is everyone afraid to say anything about Diddy?
It's a part of the hip hop culture. Like, they think that they are telling something. Or just mind your business type of thing. Like, so if there's no, other than that, you would look, if I wasn't saying the things that you heard me say, there would be nothing being said at all. So it'd just be, you would assume that the culture is for those behaviors.
No one anticipated Marlon Wayans, the comedian best known for Scary Movie and White Chicks, to come up when early rumors about the second season of 50 Cent's brutal Netflix series started to circulate. Although the relationship initially appeared coincidental, the recent hostility between the two made it impossible to ignore the rumors. It began subtly when Wayans was asked about the documentary in an interview. Rather than praising it, he advocated moderation, implying that the issue was highly emotional and motivated by long-standing strife rather than just storytelling. Accountability, timeliness, and the notion that acts have repercussions, particularly when one is already under public scrutiny, were the main points of his speech. Wayans wasn't openly defending anyone. He was raising concerns about motive and cautioning that documentaries don't always present the whole story. However, 50 Cent didn't agree with that viewpoint. He retaliated almost immediately on social media, flipping the spotlight with witty jokes, inflated images, and allusions to Wayans' previous roles. A philosophical dispute turned into a highly visible and public standoff that only heightened the anticipation for what Season 2 would bring. The ensuing digital conflict was fueled by memes, AI-generated pictures, and constant updates.
Time for a social media beef with 50 Cent. What was it like in the family chat? Well, brothers, they were funny.
Damon was like, why you pick the biggest brother? He's on gamma rays. Stick to beefing with Soulja Boy, Kevin Hart, people that we can beat. You fight him. Leave guys that got shot 9 times alone. He survived 9.
And so I backed out.
I just said his name. They asked me about the documentary. I was like, I didn't see it. And then they asked me about it, and I just gave my opinion. I was just like, I don't think brothers need to be quarreling in public like that. And then what I get into? A public quarrel with a brother. And I just think it was bad for the culture. And I kind of backed out. I don't even say that name anymore. If you ask me, hey, you got change of $1? I need a half $1. So you need a half $1.
All right. So I'm going to make it abundantly clear. I'm not here defending Diddy. I am here because I got dragged into this because somebody asked me a question and I had an opinion. Nobody's wrong for giving an opinion about any subject, period. I'm not here defending Diddy. Don't let the narrative fool you or get to you. Once again, somebody's creating narratives. This is my point. So please look at the whole clip that I did and then look what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Y'all people don't be sheep. Use your brain, use your freedom of thought, freedom of speech, and don't ever let nobody bully you. Never. Don't let nobody bully you. You got me? Love. Now back to trolling this troll.
It's not just the presence of well-known names that makes this fight so compelling. The time is the issue. What should have been a casual remark turned into days of unrelenting online taunts and viral meme warfare as the tension erupted at the exact moment the documentary's discussion peaked. According to Mara, his position was always about perspective, balance, and the framing of stories rather than picking sides or backing anyone. Even so, the message was received differently by 50 Cent and a sizable fan base, and the reaction indicated something more significant. Marlon Wayans is no longer only commenting from the sidelines. He is now being drawn straight into the plot as it develops.
You think about the back and forth between 50 and Marlon Wayans.
With him and Marlon Wayans, I don't understand, Marlon got his own opinion, just like everybody got an asshole. He got his own opinion too. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to say whatever he wants to say. But, when you know somebody is going to war or don't like somebody or somebody got a beef with somebody, unless you want to be a part of that beef or take a part of that, why you going to get involved in it? You understand? Keep your opinion to yourself. If you know those two people got a beef and you got a voice out here. Marlon got a voice because he comes from that family that has done a crazy, comedy shows and things for our community as far as being the elites of the comedy world and then of the movie world. And he comes from that family, bro. So, you putting his voice and saying that, 50 is doing something wrong and stuff like that. People can't tell people what to do and how to do with their lives and with their time and everything like that. And if he's going against Puff and he's putting stuff out there, that's his business. That's him and Puff's business. You understand? Like people try to say I'm doing something wrong. That's me and Puff's business. You understand? No, but it's all right for him to send dudes to try to do something to me. It's all right for him to, send people or get them information so I can lose my job. It's all right for them to do what they do. You understand? But when they see somebody like me or doing it back or saying something, I gotta be some broke this, I gotta be some jealous this, I gotta be some hating ass and stuff like that. No, this is war. You understand? I might not have the ammunition he have. I might not have the people that he have. So for Marlon Wayans to go at 50 like that, both of them got money. You know what I'm saying? Both of them got, their own peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? But for Marlon to put out a clip that is an AI generated clip against 50, that's something whole different, bro. That's something whole, and I see that's happening right now. They got a clip of me holding a picture of Diddy and I think it's 50 or somebody in the bed together. You understand? I ain't never had that picture right there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen that. That's a lie. But they're allowing that like that to come on the internet. You know what I'm saying? They're allowing people, to cut and paste and put stuff out there and make people seem like, they are some kind of fanoid, some homosexual ass whatever. And I know you can't say that on a thing, but that's what it is, bro. And I just hate that they are allowed and they can't be sued for doing stuff like that, man. And that's what, if you're gonna do anything, you should be able to sue somebody to be doing stuff like that. For him to put 50 in the hot tub with Puff or get that picture when he knows it's an AI generated picture, that was low. That was real low. But he said, so since 50 trolling, I'm a troll. So have that same energy when you see that man. Keep trolling when you see that man. And that's what I gotta say about that one. My whole thing about it is, bro, people going around saying, but Diddy's in jail. And him being in jail don't bring back none of the people that died, not only on his watch, on his making. It don't bring back Big. You know what I'm saying? I heard one journalist talk about Suge Knight is the one who, Big and set Big up and everything like that. So let me ask you something. Suge Knight was working in accordance with Puff to get Big out of California. He was working with Puff to keep Big from going to London. Suge Knight was working with Puff to do that? I don't think so. I heard Puff tell Kirk Burroughs on that Thursday, yo, Big ain't going nowhere. You could go by yourself, but Big ain't going nowhere. You know what? When you look at things and they see things, you know that facts will change your feeling.
Jay-Z is the next person in the spotlight. To be honest, this name seems inevitable. Jay is the person who is most likely to follow Diddy in 50 Cent's growing emphasis on business power stories. Their relationship has always been complex, characterized by times of cooperation, implicit rivalry, and silent competition that never completely vanished, given their decades-long overlap in the music and business industries. Fans are now predicting that Jay-Z's story might be the next significant chapter to enter the public discourse, possibly bringing another powerful narrative into the spotlight, thanks to the momentum 50 created by their Reckoning docuseries. On Instagram, 50 Cent has already started encouraging rumors, and his actions don't appear to be coincidental. Fans frequently repeated lines like, "Jay-Z files openly predicting a future season centered on him," in the comment sections of a recent post showcasing Jay-Z, which immediately boosted engagement through the roof. Instead of putting an end to it, 50 leaned in, liking several remarks that advanced the concept and subtly escalating the rumors. Given Jay-Z's enormous impact, lengthy career, and extensive business network, the prospect of a documentary exploring his legacy, collaborations, and industry connections, especially his long-standing friendship with Diddy, is sufficient to keep viewers interested. The cacophony has only gotten louder due to Jay's persistent silence. Even while there hasn't been any official confirmation, the online buzz has grown to the point where many people consider his participation in the upcoming chapter to be almost certain. Rick Ross is another name that is becoming rather popular for Season 2. Furthermore, this isn't just a rumor. There is a lot of weight behind this rivalry. One of the most well-known and persistent conflicts in hip-hop, the tension between Rick Ross and 50 Cent dates back over 20 years. It began in the late 2000s when 50 responded with sharp diss recordings to lines that were interpreted as subtle jabs. This triggered years of lyrical exchanges, media jabs, and constant internet tension. Over time, the controversy spread far beyond music, resulting in ongoing online taunts that fans still bring up, legal problems, and personal charges. Nor has the hostility subsided. In March 2025, 50 rekindled the dispute by making fun of Ross's participation in the Millennium Tour and casting doubt on his ability to draw crowds. In response, Ross openly criticized and insulted 50. Now that the documentary is gaining traction, 50 seems to be returning, indicating that this long-running feud may be about to enter its most severe phase to date. Janice Combs is the fourth person on the radar. Although her name doesn't often make headlines, if Season 2 really examines how Diddy was formed, she might end up being one of the most illuminating pieces of the puzzle. She had an indisputable impact on his early years as the single mother who raised him mostly by herself following the early death of his father. Janice, a former model and teacher's assistant, worked tirelessly, frequently balancing several jobs to give stability, opportunity, and education. She has been outspoken in opposing what she believes to be inaccurate depictions of that upbringing in the documentary. She maintains that sacrifice, self-control, and concern, rather than dysfunction, were the foundation of her household. Conflicting testimonies from others who knew the family at the time, however, have heightened the suspense in the story by depicting a home characterized by mature settings, hazy boundaries, and encounters that might have exposed a young Diddy to circumstances beyond his years. Janice Combs' story has the potential to be one of the most intricate and significant aspects of the entire series if it is thoroughly examined, providing information on the origins of a legacy that continues to spark discussion.